Chapter 323 Demon Execution. Treasure seals were several times more difficult to activate compared to common treasure talismans. As a result of this, Lu Jing asked his fellow sect members to protect him as he did not wish to meet the same tragic end as his junior martial sister. Finishing his instructions, Lu Jing protected himself using his yellow ring magic tool before he sat down cross-legged on his flying magic tool. With a calm heart, Lu Jing began to pour magic power into the Firebird treasure seal. As the fire-red talisman's glow gradually intensified in Lu Jing's hand, the inscribed Firebird's wings became increasingly nimble and lively. It seemed as though the Firebird would suddenly materialize and fly out from the talisman at any moment. Although Han Li was engaged in battle with the ice demon on land, he felt at ease knowing that his fellow sect disciples were taking action. He had feared that his fellow sect disciples would cower and run away in defeat. If he were left alone, Han Li would be unable to obtain the item he desired from the Black Fiend schoolmaster. No longer worried about being deserted, Han Li wholeheartedly focused on the enemy before him. Even as a mid-foundation establishment cultivator, the shifting smoke steps still placed a significant burden on his body. Thus, he couldn't let this battle of extreme speed drag on, he had to risk an all-out assault. With that in mind, Han Li incessantly flickered about while brandishing a silver sword in one hand, suppressing the ice demon and leaving him winded. With Han Li's other hand, he silently summoned an item from his storage pouch and wounded around his ring finger. Killing intent flashed through his eyes, Han Li charged forward at a fearsome speed, sword grasped in both hands. He suddenly made a vicious attack, inspiring fear in the ice demon. The ice demon hastily fell back and raised his sharp crystal claws in defense. Dang! The ice demon coldly laughed. Taking advantage of the strike's momentum, the ice demon flew backwards and increased the distance between him and Han Li. At that moment, a slight sneer appeared on Han Li's face. When the ice demon saw this, he felt extremely uneasy. Han Li let go of his sword with one hand and pulled. In turn, the ice demon felt an indescribable force halt his retreat and could no longer avoid Han Li's fierce strike. At that moment, Han Li grasped the sword in both hands once more and expressionlessly moved to strike. When the ice demon saw this, he turned pale and hastily started struggling with all his might. Unfortunately, it was already too late. In the blink of an eye, Han Li had already appeared before him. Han Li's sword blurred momentarily and countless silver streaks assaulted the ice demon as they flashed past each other. At the following instant, two figures appeared beneath the moonlight, Han Li standing with a sword in his grasp and the ice demon falling to the ground. Having clearly seen this, Song Ming and the others couldn't help but feel extremely nervous. The ice demon staggered to his feet and looked at Han Li's back with an evil grin. As he thought to say something, his expression suddenly froze. The sound of a series of sharp ruptures could be heard, revealing countless fine cracks on the ice demon's transparent body. As the sounds continued, the cracks grew larger, eventually turning the ice demon's body into a pile of broken, translucent ice. As the translucent crystals broke down, a complete undamaged claw weakly reached out with its sharp tips still emitting dense cold chi. This was the only thing to survive Han Li's rapid cuts, it was also left completely unharmed. Han Li dispassionately looked at the ice demon's remains. Then he turned his gaze toward the dazzling three light cocoons, wrinkling his brow. He silently pulled his hand, causing the ice claw to fly toward him. From the reflection of the moonlight, a thin transparent thread could be faintly seen between the sharp claw and Han Li. This was precisely the ice demon's cause of death. Taking advantage of their close distance during the previous strike, Han Li had controlled the transparent thread on his ring finger to stealthily wind around his claw. Unfortunately, while the demon transformation left the ice demon's body transparent and strong, it had also dulled his senses, allowing Han Li to succeed in taking his life. Han Li lowered his head to look at the ice claw, and after a moment of hesitation, he threw it away. Since the ice claw was able to withstand his silver sword without harm, he understood it was certain to be exceptionally good material for refining magic tools. But with the knowledge that it was originally a person's hand, his heart shivered and he was unable to overcome his disgust. He walked to the side of the ice demon's remains and casually slashed at the ice pile a few times with a silver sword, fishing out a storage pouch from within. After taking a quick look at it, he carefully put it away. He then silently flew to the sky, wanting to see how his fellow sect members would deal with the 3 transformed blood servants. Han Li didn't know that during the moment that the ice demon had lost his life, a middle-aged man in meditation suddenly opened his blood-red eyes and muttered to himself, "Ice demon has already died. That's fine. It'll save me the effort of dealing with him in the future." With that said, he calmly closed his eyes as if nothing had happened. A shriveled corpse laid before him. From the clear outlines of the bone, it appeared that there was no flesh underneath the skin. The corpse was wearing the clothes of a yellow Maple Valley cultivator. Han Li flew to the sky, and before he opened his mouth, Song Meng and the others had surrounded him. With expressions of admiration and shock, they all showered him with praise. Their words even held a trace of reverence. Senior Marshal Sister Shui Hong's pair cultivation partner was flushed with thankfulness toward Han Li. Han Li said a few humbling words. He then noticed the blinding red talisman in Lu Jing's hand and curiously asked about it. Someone immediately gave Han Li an explanation about treasure seals, causing Han Li to feel overjoyed and relieved. Naturally, Han Li had heard of treasure seals before. However, he hadn't expected that Senior Marshal Brother Lu would have such a treasure and would be willing to use such a critical life-saving measure. Han Li hadn't known Lu Jing for long and had no way of knowing about Lu Jing's complicated dilemma over paying such a heavy cost to preserve his reputation. In Han Li's case, he basically didn't care how others looked at him. So long as his own reputation didn't get in his way of his rewards, he didn't care. Naturally, if Han Li had the opportunity to leave a good impression without expending much effort, he would be quite willing to do it. But to use something as precious as a treasure seal in order to maintain his reputation, Han Li wouldn't be willing to do such a foolish thing even if he would be killed. Even so, Lu Jing's action had truly left an impression on Han Li. He even doubted the validity of his long-held belief. If there were those in this world that truly acted to exterminate evil, then what would that make him? Could he be considered a good person? Just as Han Li was feeling slightly ashamed, he suddenly heard a ferocious roar filled with the desire of blood and massacre from below. Han Li and company hastily looked down in alarm. One of the 3 light cocoons had undergone a huge change, appearing as if the blood servant within was about to emerge. Han Li's heart trembled. It seemed he would have to fight another blood servant in order to buy time for Senior Marshal Brother Lu to finish. With that in mind, Han Li started to take action but was interrupted by a tranquil voice from behind him. "Everyone, step aside. Allow me to eliminate those 3 demons." Upon hearing this, everyone revealed joy. Han Li hastily turned around and saw Lu Jing looking at them with a smile. He had a small, exquisite red bird in his hand. It fluttered about and appeared extremely adorable. Additionally, the scorching chi in the vicinity had disappeared without a trace at an unknown time. That is the appearance of the treasure seal? Han Li looked at the small red bird with astonishment. "Thank you very much for protecting me, everyone." Lu Jing flew to the front of the group in a relaxed manner. Under the gaze of the others' amazement, he acted without the slightest hesitation and lightly blew at the small bird in his hand. With a clear chirp, the small fire bird quickly flew forward from Lu Jing's hand. At that moment, a light cocoon beneath them had finished its transformation. Puchi. A demon wrapped in azure light emerged from its cocoon. Its shape was quite similar to the half-transformed ice demon, however, its appearance was a deep azure. From the demon's appearance, one could clearly tell that it was Taoist priest Qing Wen. But at this moment, he appeared completely crazed, as if he didn't possess the ability to think. He let out 2 mad roars and raised his head to look at the small fluttering firebird. His body immediately grew still and the insanity displayed on his face was restrained, revealing an expression of great fear. He then lost himself to panic and looked around him. He suddenly flew to the skies covered in azure light. It seemed he wished to escape. But at that moment, a fierce explosion erupted from the small red bird, changing it into a large blazing bird about 3 meters wide. It spread its wings and traveled over 30 meters in an instant, appearing before the demon-transformed Qingwen. With its sharp red beak, it lightly pecked at him.